Hello, welcome and welcome back to the BGHRA eighth conference. This afternoon, I am really thrilled and excited, and all the good feels are happening right now to welcome Zari Harat and her artists.
Mm,
Zari is a visual artist who has studied art, spirituality, and teaching, which she generously shares with others. She is a
mm,
cultural merge of being born in the US, a South Asian family, and living in Germany most of her life. Zari currently resides in Hamburg and was a longtime resident of Berlin. Having first arrived there in 1981, she was at the heart of that early emergence of the hyphenated person that Caribbean American poet Audre Lorde discussed. Zari worked with the women's movement in Berlin and was a student of Audre Lorde. As a single mother, she wanted to give her daughter a world of freedom, which she believed was easier to accomplish by being an artist in Germany. Zari is a traveler, she is a teacher, she is a friend, she is an artist, she is a healer, she's a bridge person who embraces life beyond Europe, Africa, Asia, South America, and the USA. She cares about her friends. Many of her pieces tell stories and speak to dialogue, tolerance, the pandemic lockdown, accidents, healing accidents, and brutal encounters, and looking for forgiveness to make this earth hers to share with her fellow sentient beings. Today, she brings together international women artists of various varied backgrounds who live in Germany to discuss their work, their experiences, and directions as artists. Safi Farid Marino and Eliane Kesarani are artists who have dealt with their experience differently in Germany. So today, Zari will moderate their discussion of their creative journeys and their art. And let me just take a moment to introduce the two artists. First, Safi Farid Marino is an Egyptian expressionist painter and multidisciplinary visual artist currently based in Hamburg. Painting for Safi is a means of survival as vital as breathing. Her spontaneous style, with its bold lines, vivid and often shocking colors, and distorted and exaggerated subjects, is her vehicle to express emotion and meaning rather than reality, and identify hidden qualities of her character and express her interpretation of the world around her. This is so beautiful. She explores life as an abstract form. She works in a variety of mediums, favoring pastels, acrylics, watercolors, and ink, as well as digital graphic art. In addition to painting, Safi is an accomplished UI UX designer, photographer, and graphic artist. Her work across these multiple disciplines has been featured at the Cairo Opera House, the El Sawi Culture Wheel in Cairo, Atelier Cairo, Library of Alexandria, and College of Art Education. In 2022, she participated in the Art Box Mallorca exhibition and presented an art and music exhibition in Augsburg, Germany. She is the recipient of many prizes for her artistic photography, such as the UNICEF Competition for Photography, Salon El New Photography, and Photo Egypt competition. Safi holds a degree in art education from Helwan University and is a member of the BBK Arts Council of Germany. And the second artist is Eliane Kesrani. Eliane has started painting and drawing seriously in the last few years. The pandemic lockdown gave her a chance to use colors to tell stories. She comes from Beirut, Lebanon, and she works in watercolor, acrylics, and mixed media. Her work explores her experiences of the Civil War of 1975 and her experience growing up with lack, loneliness, distress, and searching. So her work has an emotional as well as a critical tone where color and form invite the viewer to reconsider their own issues of privilege and lack, being a participant and being an outsider, touching the power of being one's own person. The women are chosen for their ability to look at art in resistance and art as resistance. And with that, I look forward to Zari's conversation with Safi and Eliane about their work as women of color, defined in a variety of ways due to culture and experience. So please join me in bringing a warm welcome to Zari, Safi, and Eliane. Zari, I'll send
Thank
it
you.
over to you.
Well, I'm just so happy to be here and that it all came together. Um, I would say that us bringing this together today lets everybody know that God loves each and every one of us because it was an amazing coming together. So I'm really grateful to see my two sisters here, my fellow artists here, and to look at their powerful pieces and their emergence. And so I'm going to turn it over first to Safi, and I'm going to have Safi discuss her work, and then we have some questions, and then we will interview each other, and we will ask questions of each other. Um, I have some questions, and I've spoken to both ladies today, both women. Um, and yet I feel that they have so much depth and such a breadth of information that I think that they can say it far better than I can. So the questions will happen that we will actually interview each other. Um, First, I'd like Safi to show her work. So I guess you would have to go to share. You could take, of course, the screen and discuss your work. Then I will show my work. And last but not least, I would like Eliane Kesrani to show her work, which has emerged despite her doubts about it. Her work has really grown. Safi's work, of course, has grown, but we both
Right.
studied art, so we could believe that we have our, tradition. But Iliad, you're just on the same level, just moving in a different way. So thank you, thank you, thank you, ladies, for being here. So Safi, please, without further ado, could you continue?
Yeah, thank you, of course, for all of you, joining here. And I'm very happy to be a part of all of this. It's really inspiring every year for me and for all of us as artists. Thank you, Zari, of course, and Eliane. I'll be happy to see you again. Okay, I'm going to share my artwork now. Let's start then. I will share my screen. All right. Yeah, as Tony already introduced me, so this is a little bit introduction about myself. So I will gonna start here. Let's minimize this for here. All right. The first artwork I would love to share with all of you here, as you see, it's called The Zone. It's oil pastel colors, or I used oil pastel. Here, I really capture the intense feelings that comes especially with the emotion of the motherhood, and the change, what happened, after being a mom. Actually, I'm not a new mom, but I'm kind of a 1-year-old mom. So with the emotional change, self-reflection here, the painting is filled, I'm trying to fill it with energy. The old energy I already felt, or I'm still feeling it, almost like it reflects the ups and downs of the inner me, or the whole world inside me as an inner world. And the bright contrast color here clash the build together, showing conflict while it's also conveying a sense of release. And if you see here, look at it, you can feel that the moment of, my vulnerability, where the emotions comes and go like waves. And also if the canvas let out a side of a relief. So this painting for me, I use the expressive colors and the forms just to show how the change the emotional changes and what's reflect on me. And actually, you know, that's kind of I showed, or I tried to show, the struggle and beauty of the personal growth. I already, you know, like lived it, and it's really conflict on me, and you know, and reflect on the balance between my inner strengths and the willingness to let my emotions also flow. Yeah, this painting is really it was like a big or a big peak for me, because I was like not really painting a lot, and I was like sketching because of, you know, the process of giving birth and having a baby around. So all of these changes, I just started, well, I just felt this way and just take my colors and just put it on a painting. um yeah, here the genre reveals the struggles and the triumph of the motherhood transformation. And also, I would really like to hear how you think about it and how you feel when you look at my, especially these paintings. So yeah, go ahead and, you know, tell me what do you think about it. And or should I go through all the paintings first? Sorry.
I'd like you to just go through all your paintings at first, and then we will come back and revisit them again after everybody has shown their work. In that way, we can have quite a comprehensive experience with your work. It's just, this is really, really powerful. I'm so happy to see it with you here.
Thank you. Okay, I will continue. This is just a close of the painting. Okay, here the second paintings, Echoes. These paintings capture how the memory and the resilience connect in this painting. You know, I show my past experience about the good past and tough time. You know, it's you know, left on me some lasting marks, like good and bad, and I embraced all of this in these paintings. Also, I use the soft overlapping forms and the gentle colors, like strong also colors like the yellow here, like the cyan, and with the bold, curly, black lines. All of this to highlighting how I carried all these echoes as we journey through the life. And also, I meant to do this contract to reflect how the time passing and the strengths we built from my struggle. Um, it's a connection actually between like what I already lived and how it affects me and what I'm living now, and kind of like a view a little bit of the future. Um, yeah, and you know, here I'm trying to mark the moment of the reason, inviting even you as a viewer to think about your own stories of overcoming all the challenges. And the picture of like shows the complexity of the emotions, reminding in me and us all that our past not only influences but also strengthens us. Maybe when you look at this artwork, you may find yourself reflecting on how resilience shapes who are we or who we are. Yeah, and also here in this part specifically, it's kind of remind me, I was really influenced by the traditional artworks, so I just used some, you know, symbols, you know, connected, and the eye here, and you know, like some really tiny details about the like my real culture and my real art, you know, from my Asian Egyptian artworks. So just some just small symbols about it, you know, to connect all of this in just in one piece. Yeah, this is the second painting. It's also oil pastel. Oh, sorry, I should go. Wait a second. Oh, here. Just to zoom in about this second art again. Zoom in, I mean. All right. Well, third one, choice, Allah Shek. Al-Usha means the lovers. It's Al-Usha, it's an Arabic word here, um, means the lovers. But the main name choice. So when I paint about the theme of choice, particularly in selecting the people we rely on in our lives. So that's why I use like a vivid colors of the mnemonic form to imply a sense of trust and connection. So this painting for me mainly trying to express how important for me to choose or choosing already the right person, and how this like really makes a difference in my life and our life, to build the trust and connection overall in our relationship, or even it's reflect on all the life, even my life, or even anybody choose the right choice. So as you see here, the woman floating her hair and gentle expression suggests nurturing, while here the strong, reassuring print of the man reflects support and stability. And both of these figures together for me means stability with the greenish background to symbolize, the balance. And the sense of tranquility, reinforcing the idea of the relationship provides safe space amid life's chaos. So even if the life is really hard, we know with the right choice and the trust, you can still have your moment. And I feel this way. That's why I just decided just to put it on a painting, you know, to show also or celebrate the emotion, the importance of choosing the right people to connect with, whether it's a partner or friend or or whoever we met in our life, and highlighting how this relationship enrich our lives and offer emotional refuge, and it's really have a huge impact on us. Yeah, that's why I paint these paintings, and first of all I filled it, so I did that or I painted. Yeah. Let's go to the third one. I'm sorry again. Huh. All right. Well, earthquake. This is watercolor. Um, as you know or heard Sonia talk about me, I usually use different colors or different materials. So this one is watercolor with ink. And this painting actually, it was, like a earthquake for my feelings. That's why I called it earthquake, because I expressed the complex of emotions of the feeling overwhelmed and in pain after giving birth. Um, and I use like bold lines and draw colors just to reflect the intense feeling of instability and confusion that arises during the transformative time. I was feeling, a lot every in every meaning. And also here the emphasize on the breast. It's a symbol of nurturing and the motherhood. That's why I just painted like this, and also reveals the struggling or the struggles underlying the breastfeeding process. Like most of women never talk about it. And even for being a mom, nobody told me about anything. But after I lived or the experience, and yeah, it's a great, I'm very happy, but it's very very challenging, and it was very hard to yeah. So I decided, to paint it, and also I decided to share it with you all guys. um yeah. And the colors and texture of the figure here also symbolize the physical pain and emotional turmoil that accompany with this experience. And here I want to, share how the journey of the motherhood is not just about the joy and the connection, but also about grappling with discomfort and vulnerability. And hits at the inner conflict of wanting to embrace all this new role, feeling deeply burned by its challenges. That was a lot, but actually I'm very happy that I really lived all of this experience. I'm still living it, but now I feel like after a year I feel like totally different experience. Maybe next year I will show you totally different one. Yeah, so that's me here. All right. This some close up for some textures. Okay, this is the next one, belongingness. Yeah, this is very one of really I like it. One of them, one I really touched my heart. Mainly, I just communicates warm and emotional depths of the comfort I found in any close relationships, and and it's very important, to feel like you close to someone, or you really have like feel could belong to somebody. Even here, actually, I painted to I just it's not only personal, like it's a person, and my husband in this picture, my baby in this picture, my life in this picture, myself here too, my experience, everything. I just belong as like everything I belong to. I just decided, well, I'm gonna embrace all of this, even if you can see here like sad eyes and stuff, and just bright colors, and the pink and the cyan, all of this, I just embrace all the good and bad and the hard and the easy time, everything. Just go ahead. I'm gonna embrace everything. And also the figures for me here, I was trying to, expression like the sense of trust, understanding, and the joy and peace that comes from the free to be accepted, because you should here I believe that I should accept myself first so I can be accepted, even in my journey, and even with all people I really see are surrounding me. Yeah. So just here showing the journey towards belonging. Yeah, that's it. And also here I use this the same like traditional art, Egyptian artwork. Yeah, I just it's I recognized after I lived far from Egypt that it's really big part of me, of course, because I lived there for 30 years in Egypt. So I feel like just I want to put some symbols in my artwork because I just feel it, right. Yep. All right. This is where it went. It's oil pastel again. Just as its names, like where went, like capture of emotions, means like a lot of emotions here. And I was trying to really reflect how complex the humans of human emotions like joy, sadness, confession, and perhaps even a hint of playfulness. So here's mixture of emotions, and as you see like a lot of textures here, I just decided boom, just put it here because I usually paint when I feel something, and it was ups and downs, and yeah, you know and this one actually, are really happy to invite the viewers to engage with their own emotional journeys and encourage them also to recognize that beneath the exterior of any expression lies as a rich or narrative waiting to explore, because I believe all of us like have a lot of emotions, whatever it's good, sadness or joy or whatever. And always there are like something beneath all of this, and we all need to just explore it and you know um, yeah, accept it and embrace it. Yeah. um well, the last one, tightness or unbox it. Here I create like a striking expressionist piece dominated by the color yellow and black. This intense hue involves a canvas with a mixture of forms and intention. I meant to here to capture the feeling of being trapped in one emotions while still hinting at the hope and liberation. I hope also, this hope of freedom or freedom both for everybody in the whole world actually. So with the movement and the lines here and the curves and swirls and everything reflect the struggle between the confinement and the desire of break free. So even if it's still dark and we are like feel like we are not free, but actually however how it will take, we are not free, but at some point, we will be free and we will break free and we will break this box, and it's yellowish and a strong time will come pretty soon. That's my hope. Yeah, and texture here evokes the pressure of pent up feelings with each, as you see, like the brush and knife strokes, the sense of being both contained and exposed. So, by the way, this artwork, Tightness, is chosen as a cover for Otak Band song. Um, so, emotional depths, for the listener to explore their own experience also. And I would be happy also to play this song, a small part of it for you too, if you don't mind. Give me a second. Yeah. Do you hear it?
Yes.
Great. Yeah. That's all.
Thank you so much, Safi.
Thank
That was
you.
wonderful. Uh, the next artist is my good friend Eliane. Safi is also my good friend, but Eliane has put together some work, and I would love everybody to see it. And she did an exhibition in Berlin with me. It was her first exhibition. And her work has taken, Safi agreed with me, quite a strong, bolder direction, even though she said she was not an artist anymore, she wasn't painting anymore. But you see, one has to coax Ilian into seeing how great she is too. So I would wish you to just paint every day for the next few years, and then you will think about it a little differently. So without further ado, Ilian Kesrani, come on, show your work.
Thank you, Zari. Good evening, everyone. Um, just a second. Okay. Entire screen. So I have some issue to see my work. A second, how will I? Just a second. I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay.
You are,
We can't see it, Ilian.
you cannot see it?
No.
Okay, just a second.
Okay.
Um,
Do you
well,
want me to show
yeah,
your work?
please. Yeah,
Okay.
please. I'm so sorry, but
Okay, that's no problem. I didn't know I was going to do that, but okay, I'll do that. Okay, 1 second. Let me share.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. Mm,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, no worries, no worries. Okay.
Okay, so I will start by introducing myself. I come from Lebanon. I am now in Beirut in the capital, and since 2 years ago when I did the exhibit in Berlin, some really things have changed and have come up. And so I will start with the first one that I did in Berlin. I will start with the Dancing Me. It's a tree, and I fall in love uh, about the trees in Germany, and I was really moved because actually I love trees and everything. And we have here in my country, we have cedars, we have the olive trees, we have pines, but the trees that were in Germany, I don't know, they were so huge and so vivid and so uh, uh, alive. And so, can we move until the first one, please? Yes. So this is the one that I did because I was before in a fixed form of my ideas, a rigid form, and I couldn't go out with my ideas because I thought that it's a taboo or it's something that I have to be, and I didn't want to be exposed with what I want to do or with my art. So I kept, so when I started to paint, I realized that there was a side of me, a big side of me that was in the dark, and this side of me is full of light and full of unsaid things because I stopped writing. I used to write a lot and saying what I feel, and and I come from a country where there is war, always war. Every 10 years you have 2 or 3 years of war. So this word of fear and unsaid things and the incapacity to stop the war and to say about this, because if you say or if you don't say, the war is here and the injustice is here, so nothing is moving. So I think that I took this as a rigid form and this order that I gave to my subconscious, young, don't say, just live and try to live as much possible as you can. I don't know if it's clear for you. So I would start with the tree. This is the aquarelle and some fountain pen. It's my roots and it's in my wound that I felt with the trees that they were shifting and moving, and I felt with the wind that when I was with my art, I was opening to my feminine side inside of me, and so I see trees like ladies form, and that are shifting from a state to another state. And I spent a lot of time that it's been recently that I realized that my feminine side was obstructed with the rigorous patriarchal country that I was living in. So uh, so I so I shut it down, and only with my spiritual side that sometimes it came out. So that is the connection between the earth and me, between my Elian, the feminine side, and all that is surrounding me with a new perception. Okay, and so this why I wanted to put this painting, because it's a transition between what was before and what was waiting for me after after. So Zeri, please, can you put the second one? So this is the one I did it in October, I think. It is called the uh, blood is shed. So this is a painting that this is a heart inside that is broken, and you have seen a class like like when you do like we do a heart attack, and you see the class on the veins. This is when, so I'm gonna just to put you the context. We've been in war with Israel, and Israel was bombing us, and she was bombing the south, the Bekaa on the north, and in the suburb of Beirut, and where I come from, where my grandfather was the chief of the municipality for 40 years, and this is where my roots are. So when Israel or one commander on Twitter would send us an order that at for example 6 o'clock, he will send us a map, so these buildings will be bombed at this hour, so please leave these buildings. So you have 2 tons of bombs that, and you see a building in just 2 seconds, it is in ashes. So the all a building. So this is my heart that couldn't bear, because it's been since September that the bombing is still, and this is where my when I know that on the outside is there is the scream, and there is the dying people, and there is the immigrant, because they were all the people were leaving their homes, leaving their country, leaving the areas and the villages, and they would go to another side of of Lebanon. So uh, this is the it's like my all my being is being bled, and this was emerged. It will it's it, I mean, it is kind of a remember that since my childhood, I don't have any roots because we moved from this area of the suburb to another area. So I see all my ancestors are they come from this side of this town, and it's now a total ashes. So yes, so I worked on pastel, and I wanted to put this blue because I always feel that there is a hope and there is life after death, or with the death, and there is always this pass on and go with the evil and the good. I have always this. So yeah, so this is a painting that it's like a tree and it's like a bird singing, but it's not singing. It is singing the death or singing the souls that are coming to from the ground to. Okay, can you, Zari, can you please? Okay, so this is saying my name. So I wanted to put my name in the Arabic form. So this is me, and you have this circle in aquarelle in the middle. This is my voice because uh, I have struggled with the fact that I don't that I cannot express myself, and I used to stutter a lot. And with this one, I try to understand why we have this war now, and why nobody is stopping it, and why there is either I talked or I didn't speak. There is no change. And so this scream is, so it is right here, and this is, and it is stuck. So so in my whole being, there is no flow. It is a cut in the middle. And so I started to think about myself, and I said that if I don't let the flow or the air inside of me, I will die uh, with no air, even though I'm not in the zone of the war, but we can breathe the phosphoric acid of the bombs. And so it was very intense, day by day and night after night. And even though I looked at myself and I looked at my people, and it was really. Uh, so I say, why there is some people or some persons that, even though we are attacked, or even though we let this the harm get to us. And so I started to understand that because I don't love myself, I let other people get to me in a hard way, like if you want, my mother or my family. And so I didn't know that we have to say no, that we have to say stop. I just knew that we have to bear and just stay like this because this is our fate. So this is, yeah, and I put my letters in, not in order and upside down, because I was angry and raged, and because all my feelings were upside down. Even though you see there is a mouth that is, if you want, seductive mouth, because sometimes I lie to myself, and sometimes I say, uh, I know that it will get better, or I know that the hope will get some. But yeah, so this is a lie to myself. Mm, okay.
The next one.
Yeah. So this is the LA, that these are the fires in LA, and I have a brother in Los Angeles. So, and with the bombing and with the war, I just looked at the LA and the incidents, and I was really overwhelmed, and I was in a bad shape because I couldn't, because it's been every summer that it's going on every year in LA, and so it's like my wound and my stomach is being like waves, and so you see it's like it's like a need to vomit all the fear and all this and all the angry and anger, and so and it's like a woman because when I look at the fire, it's like it is dancing without any kind of compassion, and it eats the everything, and so it is like a seductive a person that doesn't care about the feelings, and it eats and it moves on to another one, uh, 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 to another bush or house, or and so this is fear, and it's like the ocean also. It is like the depth of the ocean. So I put these blues, this tones of blue and the gray, and because, like I said, I feel in my heart there is always peace inside. But even though there is these fires, I know that someday or soon they will be stopped. And so it is like all. If you see, there is in the middle that there is a tree, there is a what do you say, um, un tronc. It's
A trunk,
the what?
a trunk.
A trunk, yeah. Okay, yeah. Thank you. And you have these dry branches. There's just like a symbolic that in order to change, I have to die on things, and I have to accept that there is something that is shifting, and this is also including the war and what is going on. And so I know that what is going on. I know that no matter what will long this war or this fire will stay, but I know that the shift will be a if we realize that, we know that the shift will be very very tough and very important, because if we shift our perception at looking at things, at looking at this evil, or looking at this madness that is in the world, we can and if we are nourished by our art and our uh, about the what is inside of us that we didn't see before, like that, like talents, and like hopes, and like all these beautiful things. We know that we can turn the clock around, or we can turn this reality. And finally, the last piece, this is 20 days ago. I was I was looking at the movie of Angelina Jolie's Callas, Maria, and this movie, I don't know why, I was all the movie crying my tears out, and it moved me a lot, because this is now, if you can see in fuchsia, and then you see this gray. It's like in the middle of the picture. It's you have the it's the so now here, with the two circles, there are the eyes, and at the same time there are tonsils, and a little further down you see the bones of the throat. So they are dry, because at the end of the movie she died because she cannot sing, and she wanted to sing. She wanted to sing uh, just for her, because she sang for her mom, and then she sang for what is his name? Oh la la.
Or
His,
Onassis.
Onassis, yeah, yeah. And then she realized that she's all alone, and so she thought maybe that she will sing for herself. But when you give yourself to others, and you give yourself and you give everything that you had for others, and for the bad reasons, you realize that you cannot do it anymore. So yeah, so this is the shifting between herself and the others, and this entrance to her to herself, and to realize that she lost everything, even the voice that she counted on, even this voice, this beautiful voice that was used to amaze, and until now, all of us. And she just a wounded person, and very angry and very sad, and she died at a young age, at 52 or
50,
53, and
52 or
her
53,
heart
yeah.
couldn't bear, yeah, and the heart couldn't bear what she was. And so it explained that it's a resume of what I live, what I'm now here living, when the war had now stopped, because we had a ceasefire, and we had elected a new uh, president. And so now we are all facing ourselves, and what shall we do? Or or we either we continue as before, or we shift, and we see what is inside of us that is alive, and not see what is dead and gone, and use it. You see, because like the Kalas, she used a thing that was gone, and she didn't see it, and she forced it, and she forced it, and she was dead. So either we shall be, or shall we shift each one of us to what is alive inside of us, and make a change, or yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Eliane. Thank you so much. I am now going to move a little bit quicker because I don't know about the time. And being a teacher, I always have to watch time. And today I taught classes, so I didn't keep the time the way I was supposed to. So today I'm going to show you. I cleaned up some of my typos, some of my mistakes. Um, so my art has a lot to do with the fact that I came to the resume that I'm an observer, observing, observed. I'm a type of bridge person. I was born in Chicago. I lived in India. I've lived in San Francisco. I've lived in Berlin. I've lived in Paris. I've lived in South India. I've spent time in North India. I've even traveled to Uganda. All of these stories took time to come into my artwork. And so I put together today some ideas. I didn't want to tell you where I studied, because you already know that I studied at the School of the Art Institute, the University of Illinois, Sir JJ School of Art in Bombay. So, but the best studies are meeting people wherever you go, be they in Beirut, be they in Cochin, be they in Chicago. Everybody tells stories. And I think my artwork is, as one would say in French, an assemblage, and a collection of stories. So I'm going to show you some of the newer pieces that I have done. This is one of the newer pieces that I did. It's called Truth Soothes. It's about the fact that, which the previous speakers have also looked at the fact that we live in a world which is completely changed right now, where people are not, don't feel pretty happy about what's going on, where war or the fear of war coming up could be. And yet there's always a truth. And many times we try to run from the truth and we look for easy possibilities. And one of the things that I love about having painted since I was a little child, I started painting when I got my first pair of glasses when I was about two and a half. And I sat with my father, and he gave me fountain pens and brushes, and we talked a lot. And we talked in different languages. And so I was bringing back into this piece all the varieties of who I am. This is also rather autobiographical work that I'm showing you. So it's also my reflections on the people that I care about and love. Sometimes we, in our pain, have hurt each other and created personal wars. Sometimes we found forgiveness. And so my work always looks for possibility and finding in that dance of possibility the chance to begin again on our earth. The next piece I'll show you is called Current. And I was thinking about, I have been in South India where there was a bit of a skirmish about a Muslim mosque and a Hindu temple, and I was forced to go into hiding because people had gone crazy. They started killing each other. And I, of course, being the defiant Zeri, didn't leave because I thought, why should I? So I stayed behind and I learned a lot. And so many, many years later, you can see this piece where you have either the mirrors or the spotlights, all, you know, the witness of what has gone on and what is going on. So this was also like some of the walls that you could see, for example, in northern India, where this type of red could be found. Red is very important for me. It's a nurturing color, it's a healing color, it's a cleansing color. I love color and I love the trust that color gives me. So it helps me also when I paint to deal with fear and to push the fear away, because my artwork talks to me where nobody else can speak to me. This piece is called Tears Fall Down My Face. Of course, it's a mixed media piece. It's a very layered piece. It's about the emotions of realization. And it deals with having to let go, to start over again, if that's possible, or to go in another way. So as you see, the fingers have a bit of yarn, you know, tangled around the fingertips. The fingers are a bit rough, maybe, but they're also nimble and they work. And you also have parts of the female body that is responding. They're all in a dance, they're all in reflection. This piece is a piece that the conference used. It's called Made in Germany. I wanted to say that Germany is full of a variety of people. Some of them have brown fingers and some have orange toned fingers. I'm just saying this to say that there is such a song called Germany that I invite everybody to experience in its neutrality, because it has a dance about it, it has a music about it, and it's a place for me to explore finding myself, and so that I can go elsewhere. So this is why I've lived here for so long. I think that I'm very grateful that this place has given me the chance to work as a freelancer so that I can paint every day the way that I do. It also gives me a feeling of finding a family of friends, not just a family of individuals that I'm related to. Of course, I am related to them and we're a family, but I also want to extend the sense of family because given the most recent situation in the US, we must be inclusive. We must share. If we don't do it, it doesn't look so good. The last piece has to do a bit with fire. It's called Rekindle, also with the idea of reckoning and reckoning and justice. Beach stories in the mountains. There are many countries, I believe you also have this in Lebanon, but you have it in Kashmir. You have it in the Western Ghats on the west coast of India. You have beach stories that are told in the mountains. And somehow I thought about going with my grandmother, who is a very important person in my life, my father's mother. She painted, but she didn't see herself as an artist. And she told me, you have to paint for me. So this is a piece where I look at that fire and that spirit. And I'm very, very grateful that I come from a legacy of expression and that we all have this. And so wherever I meet somebody and I know that they have it, I fight them to be creative because I think this is the only way we can heal our earth and go forward and let go of the broken and come into the fullness. And when you start drawing, I find with people who are new to painting, they begin to realize if they're painting every day, they can open up to themselves. They can find the answers. I don't need to tell them those answers. You don't need to tell them those answers. Those answers are within each and every one of us. So thank you so much for looking at my work. So Sonia, do you want to ask us questions or should I?
I would love for this conversation to happen, but I want to intrude as little as possible. I know that there are a couple of one comment and a question, and so I'll read those quickly, and then I want to turn it back over to you, and Safi and Elian, and we call time at 3:15 Eastern time. So
Okay, that's 8:48 right now.
okay, so I wanted to give you the time to engage in the conversation. I think there's a question from Catherine who says, "I'm curious about the second set of eyes in echoes." And then two comments, one by Rosalind, which says, "My tears in my heart exploded from your art and presentation. May the Lebanese people continue to pursue their freedom." That's for Eliane. And sorry, your art surprises me again from Rosalind. And so with that, I really want to turn it over to you, Zari, and Elian and Safi to continue the conversation.
Okay, I think somebody has a hand raised, Heidi Keller. So I don't know. You take care of that, maybe Sonia?
For hand?
Yeah, it says view, raised hand.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So what I would like to ask Safi, when you were sketching during the birth of your baby, do you have those sketchbooks? And what are they like?
What they are like?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like a watercolor and ink, like the one I already showed here, the earthquake one. Mostly was like, you know, expressing out what I feel in my bed, actually, because it was like a very hard time for me. And I didn't do much because I was in pain for 2 months, unfortunately. So I used the paintings and the colors and the watercolors specifically to just flow out my feelings, just put it on the papers, let it spread. So I was in the process to feel my feelings on a paper, and and also makes me feel a little bit like a kind of relief. So it helps me a lot, and and I was missing painting a lot too. So the smell of the watercolor and the ink, like makes me give me just, you know, it's a part of the journey just to relax, take a breath. Yeah. So in this period, actually, I was painting with the watercolor and ink most of the time. I didn't actually paint a lot, but at least I did from time to time. Yeah.
Safi, I'd like you to ask questions of Ilian and I, one of both of us, so that you can also participate in the questioning, in the
Of course.
quest of the questioning.
Lian, I'm really happy, and I'm really happy to see your art growing. It's really, for me, it was a surprise because it's really grown a lot, from the last time I saw it. Um, and the second
Thank you.
picture,
Safi.
second one about the war and the tree, people dying, and the using of the cyan color up. you know I want to ask you, about, how you choose these colors actually, like you feel it, or it was a feeling mainly, or how you manage using these colors, because it feels so real when I saw it. It really touched me a lot.
Yeah, I feel it. I just feel it, and every time I am very sad or very angry or very what do you, I don't know, all these bad emotions. I mean, I always see my art like it's blooming with the fuchsia, with the white, with the, and I will say no, this is not these are not the colors that I want. But there is, I don't know, it's I just let myself go with the flow, and it's really my sadness and my tears that are on the paper. And but because also that I know that something is going to be there on the paper, on the white paper, and because I don't own it and I don't control it, and this is what this I learned from Zeri. Thank you, Zeri. Just to let go and be, just to let not think. I think that this is a kind of resilience in a good way, you see, for this situation, because it heals. Even though if I look at my painting, I don't see anything. I see, okay, this is like this, but what has changed? Or no, when you paint and when you go day by day, you see that there is a flow that is going inside of you, and there is a shift. So day by day, you have small shifts of hopes and life also. You see, I think it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great.
One question from the audience. I think this is from Dr. Bess, who asked Safi, are you familiar with any painters from the Harlem Renaissance? Are some of your paintings influenced by Picasso?
Yeah, probably yes. Yeah, a lot of people told me, the same thing, and I'm really happy to hear that, like very happy to hear that, like my artwork is really, you know, likes any other artist or like connected. Yeah, thank you for that.
In conversation with. If I could ask a question, it's about what I notice sort of across the works, this really strong expression of emotions and certain kinds of emotions that are seen as taboo, right, to even
Mhm.
sort of represent or talk about. And so I wonder if you could, each of you could talk a little bit about how you attend to and approach and sort of create emotion in your art. So how does emotion sort of impact your art, but also to think about confronting these kinds of emotions that are still a bit taboo, right? Particularly in the context of womanhood, motherhood, for example.
That's a great question, actually. I didn't feel like motherhood or talking about the motherhood feelings or anything like taboo for me at all. I know like people didn't talk about it, you know, even it's not artists, like any people. I remember my friends never mentioned any of this. Um, but as I'm artist, I feel free. And when I use art, when I use my paintings, I mean my colors and my papers, I just go more way free. So just let it go, as Eliane mentioned. You know, we don't have. I don't have anything to shame, or I don't, you know, just accept, as I see in my other paint, I accept myself, accept my challenges, um, bad or good, anything, you know. And if I feel something, I just let myself feel it, and I just decided, okay, let it go, you know, and a very brave and a very straightforward thing. That's why I just put bold colors to try to express myself, so I be more release or more relief, I mean. And also I'm always happy to share my artwork with the world, so they can also maybe inspire somebody at some point, you know. Yeah, and touch them too. Yeah.
When you talked about emotions, I think that what we all share is dealing with the emotions of being women and unleashing the idea that being a woman is a very special place to be. And so when I went to the School of the Art Institute, I had a professor, maybe I won't mention him, but he said, your work is so powerful. It's a shame you weren't born a man. And I cried. You know, I was so happy that he liked my work, but I didn't like the idea that he put me down for not being something I'm not. And that's an identity that is not my identity to be a man. You know, I just, you know, I'm open to my male and female energy, but that's something else. And so I think that my dialogue with the world and the colors that I work with and the layers that I put together have to do with experiences. I spent something very difficult happened for me. I'm not going to go into details, but my art helped to heal me. It helped to give me the courage to not be afraid. It gave me the chance to forgive and the chance to embrace all possibilities. So, and also to realize I'm a very emotional person and I don't need to hide it. And that's something I like about being a woman. I can be emotional, I can cry here, and I can paint it through, and it can heal me and other people, as Safi and Dilian spoke about. Because whether you're talking about a war, you also are talking about your resiliency. You can get up out of the war. The war that ends gives you the chance to love and to reconsider, and then to see what your art, where it's going to take you. And that's where the answers will come inside of you. Nobody needs to tell you those answers. Trust yourself.
And Eliane, I don't know if you wanted to tackle this question. I was particularly struck by saying my name when you talked about the mouth and the seductive mouth. So I wonder, and also the expression of sort of strong negative emotion as well. So I wonder if you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, this is the part where I realize that sometimes I lie to myself when I'm in a denial of the reality, and I don't sometimes I want to be strong and caring for others, and this is my type. I'm the eldest in the family, and when I want to share the weakness, if you want, in a comma, it's yeah, I realize that I'm not always myself because I'm in a hiding place that I want to make the place really good, like I'm Alice in Wonderland. And when I'm open to my emotion and I realize that my seductive side is this faking side. Why? Because I'm so afraid of saying my emotions, or saying my what I want and what I need and what it needed to be to heal. You take it out, you take this seductive way and you keep it away and you say no, I don't want this, I just want to be free. And when you are free, when you just open and be, this is where you're when it's a vulnerable time. And when you think that this is a vulnerable time, you think that there is a risk or a danger uh, uh, that maybe someone will hurt you, either the war or something else. But no, this openness, it's not a weak side. It is, on the contrary, it's a shield that will, even though it appears like like a weak side or a vulnerable thing, but it's a shield because when you open up to yourself, your core is centered, and so your whole being in on one axe, and this axe is you as being the whole you. You see, I don't know if it's clear.
It's like, yes,
Yes,
it's
very clear.
definitely, it's very clear. Um, I wonder if we could sort of step back a little bit. And Zari, I want to ask you how you came to this sort of collaborative mode, right, of creating in terms of sort of gathering artists together. And how do you go about sort of building that community of artists that you sort of work with?
That might have its roots in my feelings about South India, about India. The idea we are family, we might love each other, we might hate each other, but we really love each other. And we work through things together, we do things together.
Mhm.
And when I was a school teacher for a long time too, but and I would have students, for example, who took English and art classes from me. And I would see, oh, this person could draw. And they said, no, I can't draw. No, that's only an elite expression. And I remember one of my students in Seattle, I'd just come back from Paris. I'd lived in Paris. I used to speak French well. Now I only know some things, uh, maybe more. But I noticed that by building people up, saying, yes, you can write your story, you can draw your story, and you can do cartoons. I'm not a cartoonist, but this woman, who's now a poet, started to draw, and then she was interested in English grammar. Before, she said, it's not my story. And so I felt validated that I was a channel. And I said, look at my sketchbooks. And these kids were not used to having people sketching. And I think that both women are equally so powerful in their work. You know, Ileana asked me, I think 2 days ago, what I thought about her work. And I felt affronted because I felt, you're great. What's your problem? So when I told her, Safi also noticed this, I felt so happy. This collaboration is important because this is how we're healing. This is teach one, teach the others, I guess you call it. This is how we're healing each other. And so I'm really happy that I collaborate with these two women, and that we three all came back together. We did it in 2022 together, and everybody's work was at a different space. You can look at it online. And today, and I feel that everybody feels validated. When I listen to Eliane telling me about the war, and it brings me back to an experience that was not war, but was close to that fear and dealing with it. Or Safi talking about being a mother, and I have a daughter, and I remember when she was so little and drawing with me. So maybe that's where the collaboration comes from.
So you're really pulling on those threads that you find
Yes. Mm-hmm.
are intersecting and weaving. Can you say a little bit? I know Rosemary might also have a question about this. About I was really struck by the rekindle piece. and then thinking about LA is burning. And this idea of sort of connecting across distance and distant connections. And I wonder if you could say a little bit more about sort of how you're oriented to. I know we've talked a lot about the sort of inner world and
Mhm.
sort of psychic life and emotions, and if we could talk a little bit about sort of the externalization via your art, and what that means to you.
I think I came from, I think we could all talk about this, but I think I came from a very spiritual family. My grandmother used to heal people, and she was also one of the kindest people I ever met. She accepted everybody, and so she made me feel warm and part of her world. And maybe I'll mention that my grandfather was as dark as my grandmother was fair, and that I was with my grandmother because children who lived in the US used to be sent back to India or other places because of childcare in the US, which hasn't gotten better. And so that's how that sort of thing happened. So if I talk about the art that came out of that place, it's that inner spiritual landscape that gets to channel and come through. I cannot tell it what to do. It speaks through me. It works through me. If I painted somebody realistically, there might be something else that happens. I mean, that's why I don't take commissions, because if you're really sad inside, it'll come out in the piece I do, even if it looks realistic. So, but that's not where what I like the sort of expressionist, emotional landscape, which I think is my inner being, my identity. But I think both Eliane and Safi could say something to this too.
Who wants to go first?
I think Zari say it all.
Yeah, I think so. But I would like to add some things. Uh, Life is really very interesting because it takes you to some path that you don't really know. And for example, for the spiritual meaning with art, when you have a desire of peace, when you have a desire of love, and you have a desire of connection, I think that the energy of the world will just put you there. When I was really in the midst of war and afraid, and every night, every day, we were really so. And there is this was this fire in LA, and even though in all the places in also Gaza, you see Gaza. I don't want to talk about it, but it's oh my God. So you have you have this antenna inside of you that is connected uh, to the humankind, and you feel a bond, and you feel that you are one, and you start to weep and to cry just because you are touched, because we are all the same, and we are all alike, and you are all, there is no a difference between anything. With the same. And when you feel that this earth is being so shaken and so widely with this evil, and that is shaking it, and you say, no, I don't want it, I want this, because this land was created, and this earth was created with love and with beauty and with joy, and we as humankind, we are born with the divine side of us, because we are like God. I am I am a fervent, Catholic, and when my father died, I lost the meaning of life, because he was the anchor of my life, and so I lost the meaning, the sense of the life, and I wasn't having this interior life and praying. And then and I was and this and after the war, I saw a friend of mine. She's a nun, a French nun, and I told her, I don't understand my mission. Why am I here? Why this here? Why we have all these killing, and why we are in 2025 in this burden of eating the others, of the avidity, of the power and the possessiveness, and so, and I told her I don't understand, so I'm in a
Elian,
really
you're
shaking
losing.
place. Ah, sorry, I'm losing what? I'm
Go on,
losing.
please. Your voice
Yeah,
left.
so
You broke up.
sorry, this is the internet. Yeah, I'm sorry. So, and then after 2 days, I had a call from another nun, and she was asking me if I can teach the kids of 10-year-old uh, catechism. I think in English we say
It's
catechism, and I
Catholic,
say
yeah.
me, how? But I lost my faith. I mean, you see what I mean? And I stopped just for a second, and I say, why this is coming when everything is closed, when the sterile mind, or I was being in a, I closed this door of to open to God and to love, and in my closeness, and when I close it, he calls me, or the source calls me, if you want, or love calls me, or God. So, and I say, okay, I will go. And I didn't know what was expecting, what would I expect. And when I came, and I've never taught catechism or something. And when I went in this class and I looked at these young faces, I knew that I was in the right place, in the right time, and to talk about something that I've lost. I thought that I've lost, but it wasn't lost. It was in myself. And it gave me this sense of, when you want life inside of you and you don't even know that you still want it, it will come back to you in multiplied. And so I think that, like Zari is saying, and the art of Safi and all of the artists, and uh, it is this a drop in the ocean, but every drop will make the ocean. You see what I mean? Because it's the energy, and when you share this beauty, and when you see the beauty of their painting, you are moved, you are in tears, you are all your emotion, and so you feel all the tenderness, you see, of each person, and this tenderness is shared, and is given across the ocean and across the countries. So when I see Safi's art, or Zari's art, or other some, I cried. I don't know. I'm speechless. So this, I think that we are all connected, and the world, or the energy, will make you see that, if even if you don't want to.
Okay.
Much, Eliane. This is such a
Beautiful.
beautiful way to end this panel.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for providing us with
Thank
those
you. Thank you,
wonderful
really.
words. Thank you for sharing your art. Thank you, all of you. Eliane, we are in solidarity with you, and we're in spirit with
Thank you
you.
so much
So
for
thank you so
inviting us,
much.
really.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming as well. And we'll see you at the other conversations. Thank you all.
Thank you very
Oh.
much.